So we are back here on the Sekondi-Nkontompo railway crossing where we recorded an accident here yesterday evening, and as you can see, we still have some of the wagons that were actually part of the vessel that was actually using the route when the accident happened still here, and we want to find out from engineers here to tell us what exactly they are doing as we speak right now. First of all, what they can tell us about what transpired yesterday.
Yeah, there was a collision here. That's our train was involved in an accident with a tipper truck. Yeah, a tipper truck loaded with sand from Takoradi going to Sekondi. Well, we're currently the crew on board at the hospital. Four of them has been discharged, and it's left with three currently who are on admission and being taken care of. Basically, the level crossing is meant for both train and then vehicles. However, since it's a permanent way for the train, whenever the train is coming, the road vehicles make way for the train to pass. Then after that, they will also continue their journey. However, it didn't happen this manner because the signal man at the level crossing gave directives to vehicles to stop, which those coming from Sekondi did. But by then there was no vehicle from Takoradi, only for the loaded tipper hitting our train midway as is crossing the level crossing. So far that's the issue. Yeah, we have damages on the local, we have damages on the track, and we are now trying to, in the process actually the train, the local derailed. So the local derailed, so we are trying to relay it. So that is the process we are on now.
The daily operation is such that we have several cars like this coming from Takoradi making their way all the way to Sekondi, and whenever a train is actually making its way here at the railway crossing at Nkontompo, this very pole must actually be released to come down to block the rail. I mean, any driver trying to get into the rail. And then the lights, we have two lights on both sides. The one over there, and then we have one right behind me, which must also actually be activated. But what we are picking up right now is that because of a fault, these lights are no more being activated whenever a train is coming, and even the pole is not actually allowed to come down automatically. And they are basically now doing manual operation over here by the signal man. And the signal man, what he does is that whenever a train is coming, he only uses this red and green flags to actually flag them to stop, and when the train passes, they flag them with the green to actually make a way. And so yesterday when the incident actually happened, the lights over here and the pole were actually still standing up and not down, and the lights were also actually down. And so the driver keeps telling us that he didn't actually hear or see anything that was calling for his attention to stop, and for that matter, the accident.
Verse 7 na me ba no. Me bend careful na me share taxi baako. Na me man light me blow ho. Ti ka kra madu we no so na me say share baako. Eti na car na to me bopa na hye for bujanti me nim say e ho so ye bi a e di bi a person. Eti tema me pie me so me car na e light pa. Eti me true light ne du ho no. Na me say enka na kure ma ho hwe. Na me si we no so na load na omu ne mudu. Ti ma to me bo say me cross we ni boko. Na ma hu man te say train so aba ben. Ma hu train so light bi a. Eti me asa car twemu na me te say grau pra ko pe. Ma hu say ba bi ada form. We say no me kra me confirm bi say akwa ne say e dey try fa ba na nto form. Ono say ko de ba na to ho a kaka na be de e bebu no. Ba me light ya me de me hu yan say ga na say be true light to no na e bi no mu di nkomo wo ho. Na me so ma to me bo load no mu ni mo tere ma to me hu say ono bi no ko ba ma hu say o flag bibisa e say minim say ko e dangerous so ya de bia me twam ho.
Among four more around so na tum recapa no kra.
And the mo bo car no track da so. Enti dia car no menama bibi ebesi bia no car no wura no mo wakra mo hu. It is a mijina kro ti me frɛ me kwahye me say e de ntina car no mapake and ha na me kɔ no me kɔ yede.
For the driver of the train that was actually involved in this accident, who is currently receiving treatment together with other 5 workers of Railway Company Limited, he did what is right.
Etifiko yokro edru Nkontompo crossing. Ne hu de typical bi opodable room. Crossing kapen no ti aba bena with evidence ka typical no nka obetumi na ka ma besan. Ba ba benya no na no so audition. Into all of a sudden it's ban na yon hwebio. Ti etu na go hospital. Ono ya so because and branch dey say crossing park or dey na in crossing page no wa man flag do. Nti odno ko by speed or man na no yedin. Nti therefore on to me na nti na the only solution or do bomb. Of course that damage.
Yesterday as at 7 p.m. these people were the accident cases were rushed in, and there were 8 in numbers. Some were severely injured, and we had to stand on them, go to the pharmacy by ourselves because no relatives were around that time. Go to the pharmacy, secure some drugs and fluid because some were running into shock. We had to hydrate them very well for them to be conscious. So after we had to create beds for them, where we kept some of the severely injured people. And as of this morning, they are fine. Those who had minor injuries absconded. They left the hospital without our permission.
I have the Sekondi-Nkontompo, the police commander here with me to actually tell me what has been his observation with users of this rail line, railway crossing, and what he has to tell drivers when it comes to the railway crossing.
Our observation is that the accidents are preventable, and therefore what our appeal to all road users, especially drivers, is that if you are getting to intersections, we need to slow down. We need to be a bit disciplined. We need to be very observant. We need to use the road in such a way that will communicate to all road users that we are the only best road users and all others can make mistakes. So when we understand it from that point, you realize that getting to railway crossings, you take time, you get there, watch your left, your right, your left again, and be very sure that it is clear for you to go, or there's no ray coming or train coming before you cross. When we are able to do that and exhibit a high sense of responsibility on the road, some of these things will avoid them.
The expectation is that drivers will actually take notice of the fact that this is a railway crossing, and they will on their own ensure that they slow down over here whenever they get to this point. For Citi News, I'm Akwesi Ejenim, the Sekondi-Nkontompo railway crossing.